Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, what is the environmental impact in terms of legal as far as smoke emission, which is coming out of diesel engine lorry tanker as it supply to our company loads of diesel fuel? Is there any kind of legal impact as far as an environmental impact is concerned to our company? So this is what I'm going to take a look. But before that, I implore all my Muslim brothers and sisters, please do not watch this video if you're already in a mosque for the Friday prayer khutbah and also attending any religious lessons. Now we are still in this activity called diesel transfer, which is occurring in a factory where these lorry tankers, which are contractor supplier, bringing in diesel fuel to unload it into this factory's diesel fuel tank. Let's take a look. So as far as the environmental management concern, what we are doing is evaluating the environmental impact of these particular environmental aspects, which is smoke emission in terms of legal, okay? Because remember, environmental management system ISO 14001 stipulates that environmental management is about managing environmental aspects. How? By fulfilling compliance obligations and addressing risk and opportunities. So that is environmental management system, whereas environmental aspects are elements of our organization's activities, products, and services that interact or can interact with the environment, thus causing subsequent form of environmental impact. So by virtue of that, I'm displaying before you right now a summarized chronology of the implementation of environmental management system, where we got to begin with this process, initial environmental review. Why? We need to identify all environmental aspects from all processes and unit processes, from all departments, from all sectors, from all areas within the scope of our certification. So we have done this in previous video. Please feel free to take a look at those previous uploads. And we are now here doing environmental impact evaluation to determine how significant is our environmental aspects or how significant are our environmental aspects. Why? Because we need to prioritize our environmental management endeavor. And once we have completed doing that, we have in front of us an array of our what we call activities, our environmental aspects, our environmental impact, and we then know, as far as our company is, its position in terms of environmental management, what type of environmental aspects that they are dealing with, and what kind and what mechanism of processes that they have got to control in order to minimize, if not eliminate, potential environmental impact caused by those respective environmental aspects. Once that is done, once the company knows its position in terms of environmental management, only then they start to make statements called environmental policy. Please do not proceed with that statement if you do not know your position in terms of environmental management, okay? Now, and then once that is done, we have got to revert to the dashboard or the list of what we call it aspects impact register, get in depth, understand them well, because only then we are able to make representative or suitable environmental objectives for a company. Okay, and please do not copy paste from other factories or other companies of probably similar operation. You would go wrong because the the convention in those other companies is not similar to that of yours, not identical at all. So do it on your own. Okay, and from the objectives we promulgate our planning actions to achieve, which consist of not only objectives, but importantly, we need to have specific targets, environmental targets, for those chosen significant environmental aspects and a very detailed or adequately detailed environmental management program, in short, EMP. Who, do what, when, and how much, what budget, what equipment, what sort of training, what sort of reference expertise is needed. Okay, all in the EMP. Now, these are cumulatively known as planning to achieve, and this is where we have our intended outcome laid down as evidence. And the ISO 14001 standard 2015 reiterate the fact that it is all about we need to commit, we need to state somewhere in the target. It has got to be reflected in the target or in our environmental management program. What? Enhancement of our environmental performance. We have got to be better than before all the time until we reach the ceiling and we can't afford to do it anymore. To that level, the best that we could do, we could deploy the best resources, the most commitment, of course, in terms of business sustainability. If I'm consulting a company, I've got to make sure all this would conjure the business positive impact. Okay, and also we got to reflect our fulfillment to achieve fulfillment of compliance obligations. All the obligations that we have with authorities, with licenses, with vendors, with clients, etc. All interested party, two-way communication of commitment. We have got to commit to comply to all these, relationships, and achievement of our objectives has got to be reflected. Now, let's look in brief how we found smoke emission. We did this before in the identification of environmental aspects from a diesel transfer process, and we found all this. This is just a few selected environmental aspects that we chose to share the video. There are many more environmental aspects, but space is a bit of a constraint for me to have everything written down here. So we chose this particular video, we chose smoke emission, which is the environmental aspects under discussion. And if you like to know about the input output detail of how we identify environmental aspects, there's a video published before this. You please have the luxury of time to look at it. And also, if you need to know how we use life cycle perspective, what is it about, the concept of life cycle perspective, you're welcome to view this. Also published already before you. Now let's take a look at the dashboard. This is what I refer to as the dashboard aspects impact register, and we are right now doing one of the evaluation criteria for smoke emission. We have arrived at the legal evaluation criteria. We'll look at the definition shortly, and smoke, and to look whether smoke has got some legal impact to our company. All right, let's take a look now. So we have here rating definitions which we have been using for the past 15, 16 years, and since 2009 it has been stabilized, and a little bit of upgrading here and there. It has not failed me until this day. So I shared with you, and this is what legal impact definition is for all the aspects that we are managing. So in this case, smoke emission. In this country where I'm from, Malaysia, we have a law, Environmental Quality Act 1974. There you are. And there is a law as far as smoke emission is concerned. It's called Environmental Quality Emissions from Diesel Engines Regulation 1996. Please correct me if I'm wrong with a comment below this particular video. And it is punishable. There's a penalty. There's a penalty in terms of monetary, what do you call penalty, where you pay compounds or even court, penalty, and also imprisonment for that. And that what I've just mentioned is the regulation is considered to be a subsidiary regulation. There is record of enforcement. There are some roadblocks on highways to stop diesel vehicles, and to check on the smoke emission using meters like heart rate smoke meters, etc. And there is also a directive to this particular company on all sorts of emissions from stack. So I would call that this one. And there is enforcement, yeah, on diesel smoke emissions. So those enforcement team might not come to this particular factory, but please remember, this transporter is a contract supplier. If any non-compliance to this legal part, especially in the smoke emission from the diesel exhaust, from the diesel engine's exhaust, it would hamper the delivery of those cargo, which is diesel fuel, to this particular factory. And this factory is also has got to give SOPs or work instruction sheets, perhaps in a form of purchase orders or agreement for them to comply to local regulations, including the smoke emissions from their exhaust pipes, lorry exhaust pipes. So for that case, we rated them 5 in terms of numeric. And as you could see, this lorry is fit to be on the road because there is certification by a body governed in this country that would do tests on diesel vehicles, not only smoke emission, but until they are deemed to be fit on the road. Okay, so that is all right, and the smoke is not visible, of course, because as far as I knew, I was briefed that they are complying to Euro 3. The engine is Euro 3, Euro 5, and the diesel quality we're not sure, but the engine of this particular lorry is a new engine, literally, relatively, okay, and they're able to comply to that standard. So they are here rated as, under legal, they're rated 5. So we have done the magnitude, severity, and legal environmental impact of this smoke emission by virtue of this particular activity, which is diesel transfer, which occur in the factory's premise from the what they call unloading of diesel fuel from the lorry tankers tank to the factory storage tank. So they got 5 for that. So we will take a look. Business as an environmental impact to this particular activity, which is diesel transfer, involving contract lorries to come into the factory. And that's about it for this video. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, subscribers, viewers, and supporters of this channel. I appreciate you so much, and I wish everybody safe and healthy until we meet in the next video. Inshallah, I wish everybody for now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.